it's the kind of place I would think that if I found it on the road, like on tour, it's the kind of place you kind of expect to run into a few times. I'm going to go start touring for years, and then you think you're going to run into these places, but you never do.
Right.
You never run into these mythical places in your head where things can happen.
Right.
We're in Brazil, and we recorded in the studio straight to acetate.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. You know?
No.
It's like we were playing.
It takes a lot of planning to do Exile on Main Street. You got to rent a mansion.
Well, well, like this place has, the live venue has the only one in the world where you can record in front of a live audience to analog tape. You have an 8-track tape booth next to the stage. And people say, oh, there's got to be other ones. Like, I would have heard of it. I mean, someone would have said it to me. If all the places I've gone on tour, next time you play Berlin, you should play here because they have
no one does
a tape booth next to the stage. And someone would have mentioned it.
So you start with analog tape, for your vinyl? Always?
Yes, yeah.
See, it seems like you got a respect for the old crackly stuff. And you got all these Macintosh tube amps.
Sure.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
But do you have an issue? Like, did you do Blunderbuss on analog?
Oh yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. No one does that anymore. Am I wrong?
I did on 8 tracks. Yeah. It's no, nobody does it. It's very difficult. Like, it's very much. It's if you're used to Pro Tools and computers, how easy it is to edit and record. You just click with a mouse. I mean, tape looks like just a bunch of work that's not necessary anymore.
And what do you outside of the ritual? I mean, what to you is the primary, the sound difference?
It sounds so much better. I mean, it's just uncanny how much better it sounds. There's actually a thing that's really proved it to me. I worked at the studio in Blackbird here in Nashville, a couple records, a White Stripes and a Raconteurs record. And what we would do is you would record on a 16 track, for example. You got the songs recorded, and you're going to mix it. You bounce all those tape tracks to Pro Tools, and you do all your moves that you're going to do in the mix. You program all your moves on the board.
Right.
Not in the computer, on the board.
Right.
Like, this snare drum's going to get louder during the chorus or whatever. All those moves, you go through it. And so you listen to the song, 200 times, memorizing all those moves.
Right.
And program all those. Okay. So you don't want to wear out the tape and the heads on the machine and wear out the motors and wait for it to rewind and all this stuff. You do it on Pro Tools. Okay, we're all done. We got all the moves set. Pop the tape back on. Yeah. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe how much better that tape sounds than that Pro Tools thing you've been listening to 200 times in a row.
Right.
If you could just let people sit there that whole time and experience that, they would never record on computer again if they could know the difference. But if you just listen to it once, I'll play you my song on tape. Now here it is on Pro Tools. You'd be like, what? It sounds exactly the same.
Right.
So what? It's just this inherent thing. I mean, you really have to get down into it to really know the difference and I didn't experience that till like 10 years into recording it, and always just feeling like tape just feels right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, because it's a real thing. It's not just some configuration of ones and zeros or whatever the fuck happens.
Yeah,
it's real. You got this thing that needs to move.
Yeah.
Something needs to turn.
And this song, this book, The Perfecting Sound Forever, they wrote this great way of putting it is that, an analog, which is cutting into a vinyl or recording onto tape, the pencil gets put on the paper and is dragged across the paper, and it never leaves the paper. With digital and computers, the pencil is lifted off the paper
over and over.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how your sample rate can be a million times a second or 1,000 times a second. It doesn't matter. There's still separations between that.
No straight
There's also
line.
people who think that there's a psychological thing that does to our brain, like it fatigues us.
Yeah,
because we're missing those pieces.
Is that what's doing it to me?
That's what's doing it. Yeah.
There's a lot of pieces missing
it's just
everywhere.
A theory, but it's interesting.
It is fucking interesting. Yeah.